Alright, cue the awkward intro where I don't know how to say hello and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm happy you guys are here, and today we have a very exciting video. Also, this video, or setting up for this video, has put my life into perspective for me. So sit down, grab your drink, grab a tea, grab a coffee, grab a wine. I'm drinking boring old water right now because we love a hydrated queen. And you know, I'm using the same cup. The way I have everything set up though is kind of precarious because all of my books are balancing on a chair. I'm sitting on a chair and there are no tables near me. So I don't know where I'm gonna set this. I'm gonna have to lean over and set it on the floor, I guess, and hope that my cats don't knock it over. So today's video, we are going through my entire physical TBR, and I'm giving you a one-sentence excuse as to why I haven't read these books yet. Not only has gathering my full physical TBR that I haven't read yet put into perspective how much I actually should be on a book buying ban. Actually, you know what? I forgot one of the books. Don't look at it. It's really put things into perspective for me, and I hope you guys get some enjoyment out of seeing what I have sitting on my shelves. I really am trying my best to go on a book buying ban and get through all of these, which I've been doing a good job of the last few months. Although I do have a new book that was actually a gift, so gifted books don't count, okay? Let's just jump straight into these books. I have no idea. I guess I'm just gonna set them on the floor next to me as I go through them because the setup is interesting. I just wanted this background and that's how it's working. Book number one. This one is a book that I got literally this weekend that was a gift. Throne of Glass with the new cover because I plan on reading. I'm already explaining too much. Okay, my one sentence reason for not reading this book yet is because I'm holding off because I'm about to film a vlogging series of me reading this whole series. How is this gonna work? Next up, we have Firefly Lane. The reason I haven't read Firefly Lane yet is because I haven't been in the mood for it since I bought it. Although I have read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna and I loved it, so I know I will love this once I actually get to it. Up next, so this one is How to Communicate. I just feel like I could improve my communication skills. So I bought this on a whim and I haven't read it yet because I haven't been in the mood to read it. Next one is The Globe is... It would help if I could actually read out loud, really. This one is called Crazy Like Us, The Globalization of the American Psyche. I bought this on a whim when I was really interested in learning more about psychology. I bought it with a bunch of other books and I just haven't felt in the mood to reading this particular one yet. Next up, we have A New Earth, Awakening Your Life's Purpose. I read the other Eckhart Tolle, I don't really know how you say his name, book, and then felt like I didn't need to read this one yet, so I just have this and I just don't really feel like as spiritual anymore. This one's pretty obvious why. So French short stories for beginners. I haven't read this one yet because I can't read French yet. We're gonna change that one day, but as of now, I haven't been able to read this. So this book was a gift and I've heard it's an amazing book, but it's just not really my cup of tea, and that is The Name of the Wind. This was a gift from a friend and I really appreciate it. It was very sweet of them to gift this to me. I just don't know if I'll like it and I just haven't had any inclination to read this. Moving along, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Isn't this cover so cute? Haven't read this yet because I keep thinking I'm gonna read it and then I'm like, well, it seems like kind of more of a dark, what's the word I'm looking for? What is that word that I'm looking for? What is that word that like describes a gothic horror? Good God, my brain is empty. There's nothing going on up here. It seems like gothic horror and it's currently not fall and I want to read it in the fall. Next up, we have East of Eden. I really want to read this. The book itself is like very floppy. And this is something that I've been wanting to read in spring or summer, so I'll probably read it very soon, but I've been putting it off for that reason. Next up, we have Emma, and the reason I haven't read this one yet is because the cover is actually so ugly that it pains me to hold it in my hands. So moving along quickly before I get ill from holding that cover. Next up, we have Wayward. I haven't read this one yet because I literally just got it from Book of the Month. This is funny. This is really funny. Next up we have War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I haven't read this one yet because it is over 1,000 pages. It's quite literally like 1,400 pages. And I haven't read it yet because I want to do a full reading vlog of me attempting to read and comprehend what's going on in this book. I'm gonna need to recruit all of my brain cells to do that. Also because I feel like this cover looks very Christmassy and I feel like it would be good to do around Christmas, although maybe in summer, I don't know. I just need all my brain cells. Next up, we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. No other reason other than I know I'm gonna love this book and I just haven't picked it up yet. We have Babel. This is another one where it's kind of like I want to read it during the autumn months, and it also is going to take a few brain cells to read this one. It seems like a very intellectual novel and I feel like I need to recruit my full brain to read it. So I've been putting it off because lately I've been feeling like I have no brain cells. So moving on. Next up we have To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. And I've been putting this one off because I'm so frightened that it's not gonna live up to how much I loved A Little Life. It's also a hefty boy. It's 700 pages. It's a commitment. So this was a birthday gift from my boyfriend. This is about real estate. I just haven't read it yet because I want to read it when I'm a little bit closer to making those moves in my life so that I can fully use the information that I get from this book. Next up we have Pachinko. This was actually gifted to me from someone on Bookstagram and it's actually been on my TBR for a while. I just haven't been in the mood to read it, and then I heard some critical reviews of it that weren't that great and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth and didn't make me as excited to pick it up. So for that reason I've just kind of left it sitting on my shelf. Oh God. Oliver Twist. I saw a YouTube video, thought I wanted to read this book, picked it up from Barnes & Noble, and then just never had the feeling of wanting to read it again. We're gonna read this. I'm going to. This is just embarrassing because everyone and their mother and their grandma and their grandpa and their dog has read this book, and that is A Song of Achilles. I read Circe and it was so good. Lately, I just haven't been in the mood to pick this one up, especially because Circe was just so, it was just such a gift to read that book, and I don't know if I'm gonna like this one as much. Also, I heard a lot of people cry, and just mentally, I don't think I could handle a full-on mental breakdown from a book right now, so. Ooh, The Secret History. This is, don't be fooled, I didn't read this. It does look like I read it, but it's because I bought it used. It's one of those ones where you're so excited to read it that you just are like, well, I know that one's gonna be great, so I'll just read something else. I don't really know how that works in my brain, but I look at it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's gonna be so good, and I'm just gonna annotate it and it's gonna be totally full of tabs. And also the text and font of this book and the floppiness of it is perfect. So there's really no reason why I haven't read this. There's no excuse. There is no excuse for not having read The Secret History. Moving along. Oh, here are my tabbies. Next up we have 100 Years of Solitude. I've had every intention every single year to read this book for the last like 3 years, and your girl just doesn't pick it up. But I feel like I want to read it in the spring, so I've been holding off until it's spring, which it is, spring has sprung. But I feel like it just needs to be a little bit warmer outside to where I can read this outdoors. Just something about the cover and the title just gives me that vibe, because I've heard incredible things about this book and people rave about this, and I want to give it the attention that it deserves, and to do that I need warm weather. Next up we have Conversations with Friends. I'm saving this for a video where I'm reading Taylor Swift's most recommended books, or her favorite books, or I don't even know if they're her favorite books, but they're just books that she's recommended, because I will find any excuse to talk about books and Taylor Swift, and books and Taylor Swift in the same area, the same sentence, the same moment. We're really getting down to the bare bones here. We don't have that many more books left. Next up we have Why We Sleep. I was on this kick of improving my sleep and the science behind sleeping and the benefits of it, and so I ordered this book, and then I was like, yep, phase over, and then I haven't read it. Next up we have Hamnet. I've heard incredible things about this. I haven't read it because I just haven't been in the mood for it, to be honest, but I feel like the mood is coming around quickly. This was gifted to me from someone on Bookstagram, Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. I love Joan Didion's writing. I've only read one other book of hers, and that was The Year of Magical Thinking. So I'm really curious to see what I think of this one, but I just, again, haven't been in the mood for it. Ghosts by Dolly Alderton. Stunning cover. I was saving it to read in the spring because I want to take photos of it for my Bookstagram, and this feels like a good spring photo book, a good book to shoot during the spring. And also I wanted to get some flowers to do that. Never Let Me Go. I bought this with intent to read it during the fall because I honestly don't remember why, because I honestly don't even know what this is about. No, I might end up waiting till fall to read this one. Similarly, I also have The Book Thief, which this is obviously an old book and I feel like everyone has read this, but I haven't. I think I started to read it when I was younger at some point, but I just never did. And I also want to read this in the fall unless somehow I just decide to read it sooner than that. Next up we have Come As You Are. I was in a phase a couple weeks ago where I was reading a lot of nonfiction again, and then I kind of fell back into wanting to read more fiction. So I'm not in the mood for nonfiction at the moment, but as soon as I feel like I want to pick up another nonfiction, I'm very excited to read this. Next up we have Girls That Invest. Pretty self-explanatory why I bought this. I haven't read it yet because I was reading a different nonfiction book that was also about investing, and I didn't want to jump right into another book because I felt like it was a lot of information. And when I do read this, I want to take it slow and be able to implement everything that I learned in this book. Okay, we have made it to the last book on my physical TBR. Last book on the list is My Dark Vanessa. This book, I got it used and it's disgusting. I kind of want to get rid of the dust jacket because it's so grimy. But I haven't read this one because I know that the topics in this book are heavy and I feel like it's just gonna make me upset. And I'm not in a place to be upset right now about anything other than my own life. So I am really excited to read it though. Those are all of the books on my physical TBR. Maybe I should count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23. There's like 30 plus. Aside from if I have to buy books for specific videos that I'm filming, I will not be purchasing any more books until I get through all of these. I honestly don't know how this happened. It felt like I was reading and buying at a very even pace, but I guess I just haven't been. And as a collector of books, that's fine, but as a reader of books, like, come on, girl. Do you even read? I hope you guys enjoyed going through my TBR with me and hearing me try to make excuses for myself. If you saw any books on my list that you think I should read immediately, that you're appalled that I haven't read, that you think I shouldn't even bother with reading, like, let me know your opinions below. Also, let me know what books on your TBR do you have that you haven't read yet, that you want to get to, or also, like, how many books? Okay, let's all do this. Everyone comment how many books you guys have on your physical TBR. I'm not judging you. Like, if you have one book on your physical TBR that you haven't read, I might judge you for that because, like, how are you so disciplined? How, like, who are you? If you have like 100, I won't judge you. I mean, I probably will judge you a little bit. I mean, you guys are probably judging me for how many books I have on my TBR, so who cares? But anyway, let me know how many books you guys have on your physical TBR that you haven't read yet. And anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. I see you guys watching and not subscribing. Don't think I don't know. I would love if you guys subscribe. I hate that, like, please subscribe. But like, honestly, if you don't subscribe, you're gonna miss my videos. So like, why wouldn't you? But I'm not here to judge. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next one, and I will see you when I see you. Woo! Oh, I'm sore. My arms. I'm starving.